Hey, this is Misery Loves Company, a weekly social reading series hosted by miserytourism.com. Every Friday, we welcome outsider and transgressive writers to come and share their work with us. And it is Friday, so let's get rolling here. Gigi is up first, live from Korea.
Oh, hey, howdy. Thanks for the intro. Okay. This is not a funny thing. This is just something I wrote when I had like a fever, and then I had a bunch of codeine, um, and then I had a weird dream. All right. I don't sleep enough. I don't remember if what I saw was real or not, only that it made me feel strange. How can you tell the difference? Some people say you can tell if you're in reality if you look at your watch, note the time, look away for a moment, then look back. If you see something oddly different, that usually means you're in a dream. I started wearing a watch more often after I came here. It's a slightly more formal society where people do things like wear watches and nice clothes at all times. I should start looking at my watch more often. I think I pissed off my neighbor. I've been kicking myself as if I pissed her off. We've had two interactions. On the first one, my mother was helping me move into my new home. She speaks the local language, and we encountered this lady who lives in the apartment next to mine. She's an opera singer with apartments in Frankfurt and London, and she looks to be about 30 years old. She's in her 50s, looks like a local, and speaks multiple languages. She speaks mine with a British accent. Things like that are normal here. The second time we interacted, she held the elevator door open for me while I quickly ran back to my apartment to grab some trash. I had headphones on, and she said something to me that I didn't understand. So I said, "Sorry, what was that?" And she said, "Never mind." I don't think she was mad, but she seemed bothered. "How are you doing?" I asked. I worry people have seen a TV show in which a character asks women, "How you doing?" to express his romantic interest. I have no such romantic interest these days. I barely feel as though I have anything in common with myself. What could I possibly do with another person? So I speak formally when I ask that question to people who I think might have seen that TV show. "I drank too much last night. Yeah, I feel so bad." I remember that despite her appearance, she was more than 20 years older than me. "Ah," I said, smiling a bit, letting my smile be known in the way I was speaking. I removed one of my headphones from my ear. "So, you're in the recovery stage?" "Yes." It was about 5 p.m. As the elevator lowered us to the ground floor and we walked to the trash area, I felt quietly impressed by how quiet and quick it was. So efficient, I thought to myself. She said something about how her husband, or someone, I assumed it was her husband based on the tone of her voice, worked in multimedia art. I asked if his work was in galleries here in the capital city, and she said something about how he makes projections for building facades. "Ah," I said, pretending to be interested. I think she could tell I just wanted to sound kind. Her hands were full, so I grabbed her paper garbage from her hand and put it where it was supposed to go. She nodded her thanks, then put the rest where it belonged while I did the same to the trash I had brought. "Good luck with your hangover," I said cheerfully, with the tone of a foreigner who smiles inappropriately. I wasn't sure if she replied or not because I had put my headphones back in. As I walked away, I swore at myself, sure I hadn't spoken loud enough, and I just seemed to walk away from a pleasant interaction with a stranger. "Idiot foreigner," I could imagine her saying as she went back up to her apartment or to a nearby convenience store for an isotonic drink, or whatever is used as a hangover cure here. I can't imagine being 50 and dealing with a hangover. Does plastic surgery worsen hangovers? A few days later, I was in a car with my mom and aunt, who loves going to a particular department store slash mall, and invited us along for lunch and a small bout of shopping. We were with her friend. I stared out the window like a rube. I do it every time I ride in a car or bus here. I even do it while walking around. I take pictures of pedestrians I find interesting. I stare up at the buildings. People don't do that here. I already look different from everyone, so I figure that gives me a sort of license to act in ways that don't conform either. It must look funny to some people when I do it on the sidewalk. "Look at this idiot foreigner staring up as he walks around. What's he trying to do? Catch bird shit in his mouth?" As we rode the elevator to the restaurant area of the mall, my mom kept saying my shoes look like shit, so she made me buy some new ones. They're green. My aunt bought me a few nice shirts and a jacket because the shirt I was wearing, to both her and my mom, also looked like shit. It's one of my favorite shirts. Now it looks like it's going to have to hang up its badge and gun. Unfortunate how time kills everything, not just everyone. On the way back home in a taxi, I looked up through the back window, clutching the shirts and jacket that had been brought for me, as well as bags containing the various things my mother, my aunt, and her friend had bought as gifts for friends and relatives. I watched a girl step to the edge of a tall building in a navy colored jacket and skirt, sort of like a school uniform. She kicked off her shoes. I didn't follow them as I fell to the ground as I fell to the ground below because I was very curious to see what she would do next. As if she had practiced this multiple times before, she leaned forward to walk right off the building. She took a step, fell a small bit, then bounced back up like a water balloon tied to a rubber band. She bobbed up and down like this as she crossed the gap over the street between the tall buildings. Then the taxi made a turn and I couldn't see her anymore. I don't know what to make of this. I do remember my watch strap sticking to my wrist because I was sweaty. It was nearly the end of summer. That's all I got.
Gigi, this is good. This is good. I like this piece. I I love the way you open and close this piece because you make the entire you it's great because most of the piece is so mundane, right? You get so caught up with the mundane insecurities of everyday life, but you open with the possibility that this whole piece could be, like you say in the title, a fever dream, and then you end it with an image that's just surreal enough, right? That the audience is left wondering whether you're awake or asleep. And then depending on like how they interpret that, the whole rest of the piece takes on like a different kind of resonance because it's full of all of these little insecure moments, right? Exactly like a dream would be, right? Like like exactly those kind of weird insecurities that fill up your dreams, you know? But they're so subtle here that the piece neither confirms nor denies the fact that it's a dream, right? Like this could be just a little piece of slice of life, fiction or autofiction, or the whole thing could be a very subtle dream. And I don't know. I love the way that you keep that tension throughout, even as it kind of ebbs and flows out of the consciousness of the reader. It's a well structured piece. It's a great piece, Chi.
Thank you. Thanks for letting me read. I gotta dip out and shower so I can go see my
Yeah.
family, but
Take
lovely
care of
seeing you guys all
yourself,
again.
man. It's good to see you again.
Yeah. Love you guys. Bye bye.
Yeah. See you,
Good seeing
man.
you, Gigi. I think I'm next.
Yes.
I think.
You are up
Okay.
next.
Okay. So I'll make the post here. Yeah, a couple poems here. More video game related stuff.
I sorry, I'm just noting that this is like casual night at Misery,
Mm.
like even more casual than usual night at Misery Loves Company. Gigi hadn't showered yet. You've got your dreads, and Colton didn't even put on a shirt.
Yeah.
Good. This is how it should be. Like no
Yeah, the
pretensions, no
return.
like who was it who read one time and they're like, well, I got to keep my camera up here because I'm not wearing anything. I forget who it was, but we've had that happen too.
Oh, that didn't I
Maybe it was
forget
Mark.
Steven.
It might have been
Oh, it might have been
uh,
Mark. Yeah.
it might
Yep.
also have been Gianluca, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, Rudy,
Like
it's
I
all
said, I think Steven actually came one time and he was like, and like, because I remember like he looked like Brandon McCock, my character from RPG, and he was like in the bathtub or something. I don't know. It was really wild. But yeah, clothes optional loves company, Colin says. Yeah. I mean, literally. So these are a bunch of ones from my Game Loop series here. Uh, I figure this Sonic the Hedgehog one, it's fitting to start with that because of Death Egg, which pulled up again is fucking Nate Duggan's book. Fuck yeah. Fucking the Death Egg.
yeah, Devin.
But no, I like Sonic the Hedgehog, and I also hate the 3D Sonic the Hedgehog, so fuck that. But yeah, other than that, this is about a 2D Sonic. It's called Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I see myself in Dr. Robotnik because he's a villain who's evil for no damn reason, and so am I, a fucking lunatic who makes complex systems that need warm bodies to realize. And oof, I had a recurring, intense childhood daydreams that the plushies in a plastic zipper bag in my closet were actual animals struggling to get out, rabbits mewing for air as they became flesh in my presence. Then along comes Sonic, aka my friend John, who wasn't a psycho, playfully tearing them out of the bag. And I'm upset because I'm rinsed from my thoughts, monkey rinsed by a chili dog eater, just outside my range of my cannon. And I've never wanted to play as Sonic or Tails in K through 12. Heads up, mental health providers. We're growing a real zero in this house. In this house, we always hit reset to go back to the Game Genie screen before we power the shit off. In this house, how dare you pull the cartridge out in Oklahoma City, my scholarly pursuit of glitching the graphics via entering slightly wrong Game Genie codes, Timothy. load another blue-colored shell into my gun that fires little critters and keeps them running out of fear that I might fire more, and those might hit their target first. My target gender is infamous recluse, a real crapshoot for someone with as little ambition and independence as me. I'm in the casino all night, all day, Marianne, hoping to lose so I don't have to float around in my craft heavy with this ball and chain. This one is called Power Stone 2, and this is the one that was inspired by Ramona's word lap. What do you say? Lap. It basically means the fall.
Lapsarian.
Lapsarian. That's what it was. Yes, but it was inspired by that. Cool word. My friend Jacob has a basement in his mom's and dad's house where we prayed over an older man or older friend of his having problems with his wife, then preyed on each other in Power Stone 2, a loud arena fighter in the style of Smash Brothers or the Roman arenas, where they used to throw Christians to the lions and throw in some weapons, maybe a couple women and children power-ups, while the crowd screamed out. Stage change. Now the floor of the arena is shifting to reveal more lions. I closed my eyes while praying and saw the light. Boss fiends saw the game latently. Now the arena is some kind of tomb, jars of clay you can bust as you yell. DC Talk was the band on my friend's shirt. He talked decently about Grace, animated and standing, as I was proto-standing Julia White Pearl, witnessing her transformation into Secret Grace. Grace was a secret to me as a 16-year-old know-nothing. I know I'm undeserving of a single power-up, but the message of love there was obfuscated by noise in my environment, mostly the noise from Dreamcast games like this one, of umbrellas opening and chests bursting, doors being sundered, slap fully, noise that could break any parent, any marriage, noise that could break God even, break the enemy, break their ranks, says harsh noise DJ Garen, break a fucking Quaker if one heard, the public universal friend in an androgynous onesie flipping a goddamn table because the noise is just. And this one is called Awesome Possum Kicks Dr. Machino's Butt. This is a weird budget game from the Genesis that I really love because it's such a piece of shit game. Sometime in the 90s when my friend HJ came over after Pizza Hut, or after Dinner Mint was a game my parents had rented for me a couple days ago and forgot to return. My pleasure extended like the condoms on black dudes I hadn't seen yet. Heard of Awesome Possum? I asked my buddy, and he said, "Hell no," in a kind of black voice, while his parents' Indian accents and my dad's booming baritone clashed like opposite Hadoukens in the kitchen where food for thought was on display. And did you know, I asked, trying on human empathy like a pair of jeans in Grand Theft Auto 5, did you know, HJ, that climate change gets worse and worse each year as they cut down trees? And that's what this game where you ride a fucking rhinoceros around is trying to prevent. He laughed and said something thoughtful about environmentalism, something I mostly blocked out because I don't give a shit about environmentalism or the state of this world. Ha! 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 These jeans were actually made in a sweatshop. Maybe I'll keep them. Or maybe it's Maybelline, Pure Cosmetics. Everything everyone says, that is. That is a possum riding a huge bee. Let's ride the bee mostly. Fuck doing anything else at all. This game was GTA for me long before Rockstars and edgelordery because you could ride shit and get out of shit, walk around, all within somebody else's collapsing world. Awesome. This one is called KZ Manager Millennium Edition, and it's about a obscure game, obscure neo-Nazi game actually, that I found on Stormfront.org. It's where you manage a concentration camp. Anyway, when I was a 20th edgelord, Hugh Timon and Pumbaa singing Hakuna Matata, I scoured Stormfront.org for an hour for the answers to the Nazi riddle cute Indiana Jones theme that appeared at the beginning of KZ Manager, because apparently even neo-Nazi scofflaws love edutainment bullshit, because wasting my fucking wasted time is a good way to teach me German, a language I don't speak, or hatefulness, a language I speak in tongues when my life is in retrograde. And my goodness, did I struggle. Mein Kampf with the gameplay once I found a thread by someone named Mars Dragon Slayer 1488 or whatever, who spoke enough English to provide the answers to the multiple choice questions needed to start the show. Hell, I don't know. This is a fucking moronic game with half-baked interface. I know. And let me tell you that although I don't want some kind of Aryan fortress in the Pacific Midwest, and I don't believe in Vril society sorcery, I do ascribe to a certain form of magical thinking that believes that games should be fun or interesting or a little something something. And geez, was I let down quickly, unceremoniously, like a body being dropped into a machine-cut trench, when I, an ugly American, found out that this game was not Concentration Camp Tycoon, and was actually a resource management Euro game in computer form with negligible graphics and a fun value somewhere in the sub-basement underneath the castle of Dr. Brain, deep down where they put the people who thought of a concept like this and then thought, let's make something volatile and life-scattering and insane into pure, unadulterated numerical stimming. These guys who said, let's make a game about the banality of fascism that's pro-fascism, damn, and even more pro-banality, damning. Hell has a special place for Euro games, a neatly stocked closet adjacent to the room featured in Sartre's No Exit. Hell has a special place for bean counters who hate Puerto Ricans but love Puerto Rico. And that's it, I think. Yep.
Oh, no, these are good. This is a funny batch. I mean, you know, if if you had looked at the games featured, you might not say this is going to be one of the more lighthearted batches of Rudy's poems. This one's going to be mostly just good-hearted humor. But this is a funny batch.
Yeah.
This was a funny batch. I particularly like the way that you totally like upend expectations. I think in the KZ Manager one, I think given what people know about you and your writing, that it's funny. It's funny the way that turns out to be like not some like fun like edgelord GTA, like racist GTA
Right.
experience, right? Where it's just pure, unadulterated, like vicious racist fun, but actually turns into
Right.
really banal and punishing like numerical exercise, like the least fun game
Yeah.
imaginable. It all gets reduced to spreadsheet, basically spreadsheet maintenance, and that's funny. And I like that you mentioned Sartre's No Exit, because that's almost like a deeply ironic punishment for you, right? You go looking
Right.
for a particular kind of
Yeah.
game that you probably should not be playing, and then you find it, and it turns out to be like the most boring, stultifying, tedious exercise imaginable. There's a kind of like sense of karmic
Yeah.
punishment to that poem, right? Um,
I mean, it was pretty brutal because like I said, they described it as Concentration Camp Tycoon, allegedly, but it was certainly not that. It was basically just a bunch of numbers on a spreadsheet,
and it's,
and a
it's
solving Euro game, shit like that, like Puerto Rico, the game,
right,
like where
right, right, right.
you move math around, and it's like, okay, like, but why would you make? I understand what I don't know. I actually don't understand what they're trying to do there, but either way,
And it,
yeah.
Wait, Rudy,
yeah.
is the public universal friend a local celebrity for you guys? Was that happened around there?
I don't think I think it was somewhere in New England, but I don't know how far up.
There's like it's somewhere, maybe it's closer to Ithaca or something, like in the
I
Finger
think
Lakes.
I think it was like Finger Lakes region or like Catskills, maybe.
I don't
think it's
know
actually
anything
close.
about this. What is this public universal friend thing?
So the Paul Universal Friend was like this person, like who I think they started out as like in the Quaker faith sort of, but then they became
Oh,
basically this genderless, like kind of like revolutionary preacher, and it was like this really
what?
wild story. Yeah, it was really wild. Like
This is
Unity
why
probably
I
knows
can't believe
a
I've never
lot.
heard of this shit.
Yeah, it's a completely wild story. Like Unity probably knows a lot more about it. I
I don't
um
know much, but yeah, was it in the 1700s or 1600s?
1700s,
Yeah.
yeah, late 1700s, I think. And they
It
this is a
started as
person.
it was like it used to be. It was a woman originally
Yeah,
who was a Quaker, and then she had some kind of horrible illness and
yeah, she got
almost
very
died.
sick, and yeah,
She was sick for a long time and almost died, and then woke up and demanded to be called that like to be called from thenceforward the public universal friend,
yep,
and was not male or female anymore,
yep.
and claimed to have been possessed by like this holy spirit, and became an itinerant preacher, and like marched up the
Yeah,
like had a whole band of possibly mostly women who
it was
like traveled
largely
around.
women.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then established some kind of religious colony somewhere, either in the I don't know, Catskills or Finger Lakes. I was looking into it a while ago because I noticed there was like you can get like a CD and put it in your car, and it gives you like a tour, and you can drive around the locations or
Oh man,
something.
oh okay, yeah. No,
man,
it's
that's
a
fucking
wild,
wild. I am going to have to read up on that.
Yeah, I was
completely
excited
wild story.
to see that mentioned.
Oh yeah,
So, Rudy, just one last thing. I also I in the Sonic 2 one, I
oh,
love the Dr. Robotnik comparison, especially like the comparison of you to like Dr. Robotnik and like the like complex machines he built
yeah,
that can only like be that still can only function if there's like an unwilling unhappy body trapped inside.
right, right. Yeah,
So
no,
good.
and like they don't really need. They're totally useless. Like like meaningless machines. Like it could run without a animal inside. Like why does it have the animal? Even it probably impairs the
Because
machine.
the animal
If
has to
anything,
be there, right?
it has to be there though, right? I mean, that's the
Because
thing.
if
Like I
the
mean,
animal's
RPG.
not trapped in the machine suffering, what's he doing it for?
What's the point? Yeah, no, that's
Oh
RPGs. I
shit.
mean, there you go. But yeah.
Right, right.
Anyway, thanks for letting me read.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you, man. That was great. So Colton's up next.
Heyo.
Hey, Colton, are you in the pool?
Yeah.
Well, happy birthday, man. You
Man,
should be.
thank
It's
you.
your fucking birthday. You should be reading from the pool, right?
That was my first like vision. I was like, okay, I gotta be weird about it, because it's my birthday, and I thought I was gonna work, but I ended up getting the day off. So I don't know. I'm chilling, like my parents' house, and they're in Lexington, Kentucky right now, selling their vintage and antique stuff. So I'm just kicking the house around, making sure everything's still working, nothing's like on fire. Okay, so these pieces, I hate that Gigi left because I was gonna say that I also wrote one or two of these when I was feeling really weird, like fevery and sick. But I don't know. I've been on like a medical kick lately. Uh, I'm gonna start. Oh, there's like little balloons by my name. Sorry, I just noticed that on Google Doc. That's fucking cool. That's cool. Okay, I'm gonna start with this first poem. I don't know. This one, it's really weird, but I was playing a lot of Mario Kart. And I got inspired by that. It's called Loon University Cardiac Assist System. Old guy with a yellowed ponytail working in a storage container turned key shop. I ask him for a copy of my house key. A train comes by and makes it hard for us to hear each other. Oh no, please, I dare you. Take my star. I'll cut you open and paralyze you. The wide variety of industrial adhesives widely available to normal, everyday people. Dua Lipa has a fire podcast. See, that's what I said. It's fucking fueg. When I step on grass, do the blades say ouch or are they used to it? That'll be 1098. Facts. What's up? I just took your premise. Hey man, not cool. Give it back. Too late, sissy man. It's mine now. Nail my ego to a wall, take out my soul and give it room to breathe. Half full black gallon trash bag thrown at the dumpster. The bag misses the entry hole and midair collides with the sliding door. Upon impact, the bag explodes white eggshell bits and chicken neck bones. They fall out of the torn plastic and land onto the wet ground below. Doth he bequeathed and said, retardedly. Okay, sorry, I gotta get ready for this one. All right. Nice red shell, Bowser, stupid idiot. I'm winning this shit, motherfucker. Green shell, up your ass, Daisy. Get fucked. Wait, here comes Toad. Fuck me and suck me, Toad. Fuck me and suck me, Toad. Fuck me and suck me, Toad, with your goddamn blue shell. How the fuck, Toad? God fucking fuck, damn it. Go, 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 go. Triple mushroom, fuck. Go, 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 go. Banana peel. Oh my god, go. Come on, baby Mario. Come on, baby Mario. You dumb bastard. Fuck! No, fuck you, Toad. All right. Well, bleach doesn't kill fruit fly eggs, so man walking around the park with a yellow walking cane. He's holding it like a metal detector. His direction is circular and forward. His pace is slow. His steps are only heard by ants. He starts to mumble to himself. If a dragonfly lands on your fishing line, then that's good luck. Oh yeah, don't do white. Smart idea. Yeah, cream works. Thank you, Jeff. Read more. Okay. So yeah, this next poem, man, I fucking wish that Gigi was back because this we were talking about appropriation, taking fucking culture or whatever. But I really like Neapolitan, like Naples. I got into like the Gomorrah. So I don't know. There's a guy, he was a mob boss that died like 2 or 3 years ago, Raffaele Cutolo, and I don't know. I was just really channeling him when I was like, I have COVID. If I just like walked up to an old person, I could kill them. So this is I have COVID. I am a super weapon. Ijam Belja. Everything is live. Things can't stop. Korean War infused with United Nation command troops. Vanilla plus chocolate plus strawberry. The camera is rolling. Still life of rampancy. Smoked Caciocavallo and strips of guanciale. Bowls of Ferrero Raffaello. Grappa glasses filled with Fernet Branca. Videotape recording. You heard "Oh, Professor" yell action too, right? Waking up from tuna fish casserole coma, sunbathing with children wrapped in gauze. Brutal leoparding crust, seaside hesitation. We know how hot roasted oyster shells get. I see you're sweating. Ease up. It's nobody's world. Senza scorno. Body hair unshaved. Shot in the cheek. Pops made TikTok recipe lasagna napolitana. You want some? My name is Raffaele Cutolo. Boca e Dio. From my prison of metal and mortar, I run the Nuova Camorra Organizzata. Ruta Peruta, you will never breathe again. All right, this next piece, this piece I wrote today. I don't know, this is like a goofy little birthday poem. Just I don't know about bullfighting. I forget what spawned it, but I don't know. I just want to write about bullfight. This piece is called "The Bridge to the Bullfight." El Sol Rojo, the purple clouds, both gathering for La Fiesta Brava. Volvo and Hitachi arms reach down into pits of broken beams, grabbing remnant scraps of walls and foundations once built to be a landmark standing up for eternity. A man dressed in a suit of light wields his banderillas, chalked up, geometrical, putting English on the cue, walking on golden toes, intimacy sans sobriety, addictions from conscious life reaching at fulfillment. El Toro approaches, cloven hooves sift back clump dirt. What is the true measure of an engineer's worth? Torero strained of pain, gored and harpooned, Picaver uncorked. And that's it.
These were awesome, Colton. I love, once again, you're really showing off your range. I am always in awe of just the breadth of different pieces that you read. And these are, even more so than usual, you have 3 phenomenally different pieces here. I love the COVID super weapon one because like it's perverse, right? But that is a way that like your brain rationalizes illness or disability or weakness. Like there's this real desire to take something that makes you weak, that makes you frail, and turn it into a weapon. And I love it. I love how you handle that here because it's in a totally unique way. Like it's that it takes something that is like an inherent psychological impulse that a lot of us has, and it renders it in just like beautifully unique language. I love the idea of going from like the logic there of going from, well, I have COVID, I could kill someone, to I'm basically a mafioso, right? I'm basically a mob boss. And the use of the like pseudo Italian and the like appropriated like like, it's good. It's really good. It's really good.
Man, that was such tough. Like looking online because I don't. There's like not a lot of resources for like English and Neapolitan like translation. So I'm just like going off of like Neapolitan websites and just hoping that that's like the correct way to like write it out. I picked a bunch of like normal phrases, but
Right.
I don't
But I think that like certainly I know nothing about Neapolitan, but I think the sense that you're like hitting easy cultural targets is like part of it, right? Because it's so much a poem of like someone who's not this thing imagining themselves that thing. And I love you even include like the reference to Neapolitan ice cream. I was cracking up about that.
know.
And it's those little moments like that that like you know because like the facade slips, right? Like this, like you get the sense that it's obviously a kind of like imaginary poem, a poem about like exaggerated, an exaggerated sense of your personal danger, and so little moments like that I think enhance it. The
It's like this is probably the closest I'll get to like fantasy in a minute. I mean, Summer of Gooch kind of fantasy, kind of, but I don't know. It was just nice to just like I don't know. I like am terrible with like multilingual, like not multicultural because I don't know. I'm not like I try. I don't know. I've learned about the fucking world, be an educated man and shit. God damn it.
And I really dig the Mario Kart one too. First of all, that the entire Mario Kart section of that piece, man, I swear I've said that exact same goddamn thing. Like
It's
it's one of
always
the
fucking
most.
Toad. It's always fucking Toad. God
It is
damn it.
because he's always behind, right? Like he's always way back there, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful. It's amazing that this game that is supposed to be like a family game. Like the entire pretense of Mario Kart is, well, you can play with your like little niece and little nephew and with your grandmother, and everyone will have roughly the same kind of good time. It's amazing how a game like that can drive people to just intense fucking fury. But I've definitely been there. Um, and the way it fits into, oh, sorry, Rudy.
No, I was just gonna say that's because adults shouldn't be playing Mario Kart
What?
with
No,
each
but
other. With each other. With each other. Adults don't need to be playing with each other.
I don't know. I don't know, but
It's just such a different I remember like playing it with my dad and sucking and crying, and now
yeah.
I'm older and like if I'm like if I'm close to losing, like I'm so loud, like in my friend's face, like fuck you. Like I get so into it. Like it's just one of those like super easy fun, like it's not really a video game, but it kind of is like if you've never played Mario Kart, like
Yeah.
you can learn in 5 fucking
Oh yeah.
seconds. It is
Yeah, I
not
don't know.
difficult, it's a good like just everyone has a Mario Kart experience and
Yeah.
it's just things I've said to people. The slurs.
Yeah.
Oh god.
I love that part of the poem because it shows why Nintendo doesn't have a working online mode where you can talk shit
Yeah, no
online.
voice chat.
Oh,
You're
No
never
voice
gonna get
chat.
voice chat in Mario
No.
Kart. You're
like you
not
can
gonna
tell it like I'm saying that in a room, either by myself or two other people. Like I'm not
yeah,
online.
Yeah.
If I was online, oh god. Oh
Oh
Lord.
boy.
right? No, it would be nothing but people yelling like the most heinous slurs and like rape threats and shit at
Yeah.
8-year-olds.
Earn
It'd
like
be
so many
terrible. People would go to jail.
oh
Oh yeah.
god. Oh, it would just be like if Xbox and Discord like had a kid, it'd be whatever fucking chat rooms are going on.
Oh god, yeah. I like the COVID poem, though. There's a line, Korean War infused with United Nations command troops. and then you put a comma there, and then vanilla and chocolate. It's chocolate. That's the perfect.
Right?
Oh my god, that's so fucking good. And it's like, yeah, like I mean that, yeah, that line speaks to me hard. But also just the conceit of like being a mob boss, like you got COVID, so you feel like a mob boss. Like that's fucking awesome.
Bro,
It's like,
like
yeah, I could kill
fucking
you.
like she fucking like drops it off like on
Right,
the
right.
front porch, and she'll get me like 2 apples. She's like, I got you another apple in case you want another one for later. I'm like,
It's like
yeah,
some Uncle June shit from Soprano, really. It's like,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, yeah, but no, I love these. These are so fucking good.
Yeah.
Coke brings everyone together,
Yeah.
There
No,
you
they're
go.
awesome. Yeah, these are awesome. Thank you, Colton, and happy birthday again, man.
Happy birthday.
Thank you everyone for saying happy birthday in chat. Makes me smile. Thank y'all. I'm so happy to be here.
And Unity is up next.
Hey guys, can everyone hear me okay?
Yep, perfectly.
Great. Okay, just gonna put this link here. So this is an excerpt from the project I'm working on right now. The title of the project is My Summer of 1,000 Names. And it combines two narratives. In the first narrative, the narrator addresses a former lover in a series of short vignettes. And in the other narrative, it basically tells the story of the summer in the project's title. So this little extra, and it interweaves those two sections. That it alternates back and forth. So this little excerpt, you get one of each. There are 3,957 unread emails in my inbox. The old one, not the one I use now. Quora, PayPal, Advanced Auto Parts, Modern MD Urgent Care, Walgreens, Spotify, Academia.edu, Amazon Marketplace, Gold Derby, Chase Bank, Norton Security, Alfonso from Focus Groups, Quicken Loans, Team Snapchat, chain emails from my dad. Buried beneath the junk mail, thousands of messages deep. All our arguments, all the times we broke up, the accusations I hurled against you, my histrionic claims of emotional abuse. I picture myself reading them again, excavating our collapse, poring over Gmail chats like ancient artifacts. It would make for good art, I'm sure, if I read them. But the truth is, I'm terrified to face that version of myself. I don't want to remember the lengths I would go to humiliate you. I don't want to see the creature you made of me, the hysterical, gasping thing I'd been reduced to in your wake. I type your name into the search bar sometimes, but I can never bring myself to press enter. Can we use your Polaroid to solve crimes before they happen? At the park on 18th Street with Eliza, the photographer who'd captured my future at Ware's party. I wanted to round up a group of psychics for a project I'd been devising. I'd shaved my head after getting out of the psych ward, and it made me feel like Samantha Morton in Minority Report. I became obsessed with the idea of starting a business modeled after the agency in the movie, where they prevent crimes by arresting criminals before they commit them. I went to an entrepreneurs meetup to discuss my idea, but the other entrepreneurs weren't convinced. We sat in chairs arranged in a circle in someone's art gallery cum loft cum collective co-working space in Pilsen. We went around the circle and everyone shared the ideas they had for startups, the industries they planned to disrupt, the apps they were developing. At least half of them mentioned the law of attraction. There is infinite untapped potential in the unexplored recesses of the human mind, I said when it was my turn. Telekinesis, precognition, telepathy. All of these are well within our capacity to develop, train, and above all use for the good of humanity, for our children, for the future of our planet. The other entrepreneurs looked at me like I was crazy. I didn't see how my idea was any better or worse or more or less feasible than any of theirs. They were closed-minded, I decided, too limited to their own perspectives, too attached to things they'd been told. I remembered a poster we had growing up with a quote from Albert Einstein. Great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. Someday, all these people will know who I am, I thought, and regret that they didn't recognize my genius when they had the chance. I thought Eliza would want to help me, but she didn't seem interested either. She told me that the previous summer her boyfriend had jumped from the scaffolding surrounding the Catholic Church on 17th Street. The scaffolding was 16 stories tall. The newspaper interviewed a witness who said she saw a man cover his face with his hands and then jump, like he couldn't bear to watch himself fall. He landed in the church courtyard and was dead at the scene. He was the best, most beautiful person I'll ever know, said Eliza. A year later, she was dead too. Officially, the cause was an overdose, but everyone knew the truth, that half her heart had left her 2 summers before, when her spirit twin flew off this mortal coil, wrenching her spirit along behind him. The truth is, she was doomed. There was no precognition, no psychic detective that could have saved her. Can we use your Polaroid to solve crimes before they happen? She said she didn't want to solve crimes, but she'd give me a tarot reading instead. She had me shuffle the deck, and then she dealt cards face down in the grass and flipped some of them over. She picked up one of the face-up cards and said it had some significance to my past or my present or something. I can't remember which card it was or what it meant. Eliza didn't know its meaning either. I'm still learning, she said. She Googled the card on her phone and scrolled through various results. She read some quotes about the card's meaning out loud, but I wasn't paying attention.
Unity. This is fucking awesome, man. This is fucking awesome. I in particular love the opening and closing of this short excerpt. I love that final paragraph because that's like the worst tarot reading ever, but it's so thematically appropriate to what comes before. Like that whole section is like about precognition and trying to discern the future and how like completely futile those attempts are. I love the contrast between your narrator and their completely absurd business idea and like the more quote unquote like practical and grounded entrepreneurs. And you get the sense though that they're like also engaged in a kind of exercise in, you know, attempting to in prognostication, right? And attempting to write this narrative about their own future. It's just that they've got a different like a more socially acceptable framework for doing it, right? And so the whole way that you like weave that theme into that section, and then instead of paying it off with a moment of like real clarity or real like perspective about the future, even though this like piece is written on some level retroactively, right, or retrospectively rather, but like instead of paying it off with like this moment of clarity, you pay it off with like, as I said, like the worst tarot reading ever, like a tarot reading. And I've had friends who are really into tarot, and I've had moments like that where they're like, they've got the deck out, and it's like, well, what does that card mean? Like, what is like the Seven of Swords or whatever? It's like, I don't know. It says here it means peace, so it's that same kind of that sense. I don't know. It's really wonderful and very funny. and a very funny way to pay off what was up to that point, like a building kind of sense of tragedy throughout. But I also really love the first paragraph, the first section about the email inbox, because fuck, I've never really thought about it before, but like I know that in my old Yahoo inbox, there are a ton of emails like that, where between me and an ex or me and a former friend, or we're like these, there are these like buried moments that you don't want to excavate, that you don't, and they're there, they're so accessible, and yet you don't want to go there. And I love the almost like archaeological image of them just being buried under mounds and mounds of trash, just being buried under all these superfluous, worthless spam emails. And the idea that you would have to like really engage in an archaeological exercise to like excavate them, and then you'd have to face what was in them. It's just a really vivid idea that rang very true personally to me. Anyway, I'm rambling, Unity, but this is fantastic.
Thanks so much. I love it's like email used to be such a different thing. Like it used to
Yeah.
be like remember Gmail chat? Like that used to be the
Yep.
main way that I communicated with a lot of very important people in my life. And I conducted, like there are I would I can't really imagine like having a huge fight in email today.
Yeah,
Like
it
all I
wouldn't.
think of email, like email now is it's just like a garbage dump, and it used to be like this extremely like intimate, like
Absolutely.
nobody
Yeah.
uses Gmail chat anymore. That was like so, yeah,
Yeah,
it was
it's
so
fucking
ubiquitous.
wild. It's wild because you have like strata there, right? Like if you went through your email, you would have that big lump of like spam email on the top, like you were saying. Like if I were to go through my email right now, it'd be like pages and pages of spam with a couple of like like reservations or like receipts and like a couple of like businessy, like, will you blurb my book kind of emails. And then you'd have like a huge chunk of like misery tourism submissions buried under the trash. And then under them, you'd have like more trash, but also some personal stuff. You go back and you're reading some email about some shitty relationship you had in college or something. It's it's
Yeah.
wild. I didn't even think about it like in those terms before you read this, but that is something.
And you think about these fights, like these long, like I get, delivered like speeches about how like you did this thing and said these things, and this is why it's so abusive.
Man,
So
oh,
embarrassing.
I can imagine. I'm thinking back to some of the like serious like emails I wrote in college or something of that nature, right? And it is like that when you're writing it, it feels like the most important fucking shit in the world, and now it's it's just buried under a bunch of Yahoo spam. That
Yeah.
I love. It's great. That's great. I'm eager to see where this goes because you're off to a great start here, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Um, and closing out the night is Coleman.
Hey,
Hey, Coleman, how's it going?
pretty good. Good to see y'all.
Colton says, Coleman.
Hey, Colton. Unity, that was an incredible piece. So I'm doing this penis chapbook right now, and I'm obsessed lately. Like I've gotten really into the life of this guy named John Holmes. He's the inspiration for Boogie Nights. So like the real life inspiration, and he's one of the most famous porn stars of all time. So John Holmes had a 13-inch dick. He could come on command, on cue, and right after he came, he could come immediately again, so they could do like multiple shoots. So he was huge. Um, but he also had a really tragic life, and Boogie Nights is kind of shows that well. And but here first, I'm going to do a couple of John Holmes poems for you. So this is The Man with the Biggest Penis, after John Holmes. In the end, he hanged himself with himself, but he was hung enough already. So that's the first one. So I also did an erasure poem of his aliases. So he had multiple aliases, and I'm going to read the aliases real fast. This is on Wikipedia. So his aliases are John Duval, Big John Phallus, Big John Holmes, John Curtis Holmes, Johnny Holmes, Big John, John Scared, Johnny Wad, Johnny B. Wad, Johnny the Wad, John C. Wad, John E. Wad, the Duke of Wad, John Footlong, Wadzilla, King Wad, the Human Tripod, Wizard of Wad, the Sultan of Smut, the Reverse Birth, the Sheriff of Grottingham Eaves, Burden. Okay, so that was the aliases, and here's the erasure poem. Big Phallus, Human Birth, Eve's Burden. So that's the erasure. This is another poem that's unrelated to John Holmes. It's a list poem. I usually hate list poems, but a lot of my favorite collections have list poems, even though I usually don't like them. So here it is. It's called The List Poem. My favorite penis is a Colt M4. My second favorite penis is a Fender Strap. My third favorite penis is some dirty syringe. My fourth favorite penis is Brad Pitt. My fifth favorite penis is the purple dildo my girlfriend uses to fall asleep. My sixth favorite penis is my childhood penis, smaller and more innocently soft. My seventh favorite penis is Jesus. My eighth favorite penis is a memory of the county animal shelter. My first job, how dogs humped Vicious when released. I once let a Labrador finish on my thigh because I felt sorry for him. He was adopted days later. It made me cry tears of joy, this lover saved from certain death. My ninth penis is eating meat. My 10th favorite penis is my own. My least favorite penis is how my penis can't grow legs or fly into the sun. When I'm jealous of a beige mannequin's crotch, its unfeeling smoothness. And that's it. Thanks, Sean.
Holy shit, Coleman. Holy fuck. These are so fucking good. These are fantastic. Oh my God. I was oh my God, I'm still laughing thinking about the list of his different aliases. But I love what you did with that, with the erasure poem. I love that you turned it into something truly profound. And that first poem, oh my God, holy fuck. The sheer number of different ways you found to use the word, variations on hang and hung in there. It's truly genius. And also, like, the way that poem is structured like a joke, reads like a joke. You laugh at it like a joke, but it's really the saddest fucking shit ever, right? Like, this is a poem about a man whose life is so empty and depraved that he kills himself, that he hangs himself. But, like, it's also a poem about a guy hanging himself with his own dick that uses the word hang or hog.
Yeah.
Like, countless
Yeah,
times
exactly.
it's a really good example of something I've talked about several times before with your work, which is just how beautifully you're able to balance like really bleak, pitch black humor with like real profound sadness. And that poem is like the perfect example of that, like the most like perfect contained example of that. And the final poem, man, the Dick poem, The List, is it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful because every one of those items in that list has an entirely different emotional resonance, and the way they build upon each other. I appreciate the fact that you like gave Jesus 7, by the way. You didn't like deny him his divinity. You let him have the like divine number. But above and
I'm
beyond
so
that,
happy. I'm happy you realized the 7, the divine number. I'm happy you realized that.
but there is they're all so good. There the childhood one got me so I, I almost said got me so hard, but that I didn't mean it like what I mean is it hit me hard is what I like, because that like the way that you work the like loss of childhood innocence into the middle of this like otherwise really smutty poem, like it's there's so much whiplash there, right? And the thing about the Labrador, that's I I love the idea that I love the it that like short section like pivots twice. Like first it's like the like you let it hump your leg, and that's kind of like funny, and then you say like out of pity, and it's like oh, and then it's like he was he was adopted 2 days later, and it's almost like you got played, like you got conned, right? You felt sorry for this animal, and now he's off with a happy family, living like a good life, and you have to live with like the memory of what he did to you. And it's
Yeah,
like just in that short little like section, there are all these little pivots. These are fucking awesome, man, and I'm really looking forward to
thanks so much.
the end result here, the collection.
I really appreciate it, and all y'all should, and thanks a lot, William, and all y'all should look up John Holmes. It's really fascinating. It's really an example of like, his dick is so huge, like it's penis before the fall. Like instead of pride before the fall, it really is. It's penis before the fall. No joke. It's terrible.
Like
But
a
he's a
Shakespearean
fascinating human.
tragedy.
Yeah.
That yeah, I'll look into that. I haven't seen Boogie Nights. I think it's the only um oh my God, I've forgotten the director's name. Uh that's terrible. He's one of my favorite directors, and I just blanked on it. Thank you, Anderson, Paul Thomas Anderson. Paul Thomas Anderson. I think that's his only film that I haven't seen yet. So I have to watch it at some point. Anyway, thank you, Coleman. Sorry, I went off on a tangent there. Yeah, that's it. I think that's it for the night. I don't think we're gonna top that. I don't think anyone wants to follow that. So I think we'll close it out there. So that was fucking awesome. Thank you to everyone who read. It was a great night, a large variety of different pieces, some really great ones. Happy birthday to Colton again. And yeah, thank you guys. And we do this every Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 5 p.m. Pacific. Anyone is welcome to come and join us. Anyone is welcome to come and just hang out and lurk or read their work or whatever. We tweet out the link right before we begin from our Twitter account at Misery Tourism. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Thanks, guys. This has been fun.